The Forbidden Chamber of Angkor Wat, the eyes that never close. Located in the northwest of Cambodia, Angkor Wat is an ancient temple complex built during the 12th century by the Khmer Empire. It's considered the largest religious monument in the world and was constructed as a vast, intricately designed city that stretched for miles. Built to honor the Hindu god Vishnu, it's estimated that over 1 million people visited the complex during its peak, making it one of the most popular tourist attractions in the country today. However, not all is as it seems at this historic site. For centuries, explorers have come across bizarre features that challenge our understanding of the ancient world. In this installment of Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be looking into the eerie Forbidden Chamber of Angkor Wat, the eyes that never close. Our story begins when 2 French explorers came across a mysterious chamber sealed with stone doors deep within the complex. They managed to push open the heavy doors, revealing a secret room filled with countless statues of gods and demons. But something was off about these statues. Each one had eyes inlaid with gemstones that glistened even in the dim light, and their eyes seemed to follow the visitors around the room. Though many of the statues were damaged, their eyes remained perfectly intact. As they made their way through the chamber, the explorers noticed that some of the eyes seemed to glimmer with an unnatural light. In the center of the room sat a large statue of the Hindu god Vishnu, and as the explorers approached, they swore that one of the eyes blinked. At first, they thought it was a trick of the light, or perhaps some figment of their imagination. But then they tried to leave the room and quickly realized that the door was now stuck shut. They could hear strange noises coming from inside the walls and felt like they were being watched. Then the unthinkable happened. One of the eyes blinked again, this time directly at them. Shaken by this experience, the explorers ran out of the temple, never to return. Years passed, and the legend of the blinking statue at Angkor Wat faded into obscurity. However, in recent years, interest in the temple and its mysteries has been rekindled. And in 2018, a team of researchers led by archaeologist Victor Goddard returned to the temple complex to uncover the truth behind the blinking statue. Upon entering the chamber, the team was immediately struck by the eerie atmosphere. The statues seemed to stare back at them, and the explorers felt a sense of unease wash over them. Goddard's assistant recorded the details of each statue, noting their unique features and the materials used to make them. Among the hundreds of statues in the chamber, one caught his eye, a small statue of the Hindu goddess Kali, her eyes made of sparkling quartz. As the research continued, strange things began to happen. At night, the team would hear footsteps echoing through the empty corridors of the temple, and they often felt a cold presence watching them work. Some even claimed to have seen shadows moving out of the corner of their eye. Goddard himself began to experience unsettling dreams, visions of ancient rituals and sacrifices that seemed to take place in the very chamber where they were working. One evening, after recording the details of the Kali statue, Goddard's assistant returned to the team's camp only to find it in ruins. Their equipment was scattered across the ground, and their tents had been torn to shreds. Shaken but determined to continue their work, the team set up camp elsewhere and kept a close watch over the statues. Then one night, everything changed. As they were gathered around a campfire, they saw one of the statues move. It was the small statue of Kali. Her eyes glittered in the darkness, and she seemed to be staring directly at them. But that wasn't all. They watched in disbelief as her mouth opened slightly, as if she were about to speak. Before any of them could react, however, she vanished into thin air. The team was terrified, unsure of what to do next. They knew they needed to find out what was happening, but they were also afraid of what they might find. With the help of local guides, they returned to the chamber where they had found the statue of Kali, but she was nowhere to be seen. They searched the room meticulously, but their efforts were in vain. Just when they were about to give up hope, they noticed something strange. One of the statues in the room was missing. It was a small statue of a demon, its eyes gleaming with an unnatural light. The teen was puzzled. Where could the statue have gone? And why did it seem so familiar? As the days went by, the teen continued their search, combing through the temple complex and nearby areas, hoping to find some answers. But their efforts proved fruitless, and they were forced to return to the capital city, Phnom Penh, empty-handed. Goddard and his team were disappointed, but they weren't ready to give up. They decided to install surveillance cameras in the chamber and monitor it day and night. They hoped to catch whatever or whoever was responsible for the strange occurrences and put an end to the mystery once and for all. They set up the cameras and waited patiently. Day turned into night, and still nothing happened. Just when they were about to call it a day, they saw something incredible on the monitor. The statue of the demon was missing from its pedestal. They checked the footage and saw that it had vanished sometime during the night. But that wasn't all. The team watched in disbelief as the demon statue appeared behind one of the researchers' tents. It stood there for a moment, as if watching them, then vanished again. The team was stunned. What was the meaning of this? Why was the statue appearing and disappearing at will? Days turned into weeks, and the same thing happened every night. The demon statue would appear and vanish without a trace. The team was baffled and couldn't come up with a logical explanation. Was it a ghost, a spirit, or something else entirely? They were too afraid to investigate further and eventually fled the temple complex, leaving the mystery of the blinking statue unsolved. To this day, the story of the Forbidden Chamber and the blinking statue remains a local legend. Many believe that the statue is cursed and should not be disturbed. Others say that it is simply a trick of the light or a figment of the explorers' imaginations. However, some believe that the story may hold more truth than fiction. They say that the eyes of the statues are actually portals to another dimension, and that the statues are not just decorations, but are actually ancient artifacts of immense power. Those who dare to enter the Forbidden Chamber risk unleashing forces beyond their control. Whatever the truth may be, the story of the Forbidden Chamber and the blinking statue continues to fascinate and terrify people around the world. It serves as a reminder of the mysteries that still exist in our world and the dangers that can come with exploring the unknown. Before we wrap up, let us know in the comments section what you think is behind the eyes that never closed. Are they just mystical, or is there a portal to another dimension? And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting stories. Now let's move on to our next story. Have you ever heard of the Dyatlov Pass incident? This mysterious event that occurred in the northern Ural Mountains in 1959 has puzzled scientists and conspiracy theorists alike. On February 2, 1959, a group of 9 experienced skiers and hikers, led by Yuri Dyatlov, set out to explore the area around Otorten Mountain. However, on February 6th, an avalanche was reported in the area, and the group's whereabouts became a mystery. When rescue workers finally located their campsite a few days later, they found a scene that defied explanation. The tent had been cut open from the inside, and several members of the group were found dead nearby. Despite the freezing temperatures, some of the bodies had no clothes on, and their faces and chests bore strange injuries. The remaining members of the group were missing, and their bodies were never recovered. Various theories have been proposed to explain the incident, including a Soviet military experiment, a creature attack, and an avalanche. However, none of these theories have been proven, and the case remains unsolved to this day. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Your support keeps this channel alive and lets us bring you even more creepy, mysterious content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.